The things that gives a loophole is when someone, especially who is a Christian, gets to sin, and someone who is not as a Christian maybe engages into an altar. An altar that then serves a certain purpose.
Watu wanaingia kila shimo, watu wanaingia kila mahali. Kuna jeshi nataka kuomoka at any expense. They don't care what will be done. They don't want to read the Bible, but they want results that are biblical.
Leo tunapika okra. Tunamwaga.
Unaona venye hiyo bicarbonate imefanya kazi, imebaki green.
Yes.
We use coconut oil to fry the plantains until golden brown.
Golden brown.
Yeah. So guys, today we have been on the show with Chef Bien, who's a Pan-African chef who specializes in fusing different African food cultures, and he's taught us how to make goat stew, Congolese style, Caribbean rice, okra special, boiled plantain, and fried plantain.
Wewe. Iko holy water. Haya ndio hizo simeanza. Koha. Jina yake. Oh, makoha. Koha. Ananiita chura tena. Chura yako. Iko baya.
Sasa.
Sio uramba.
Nyoka inakucha. Nyoka ina mabawa.
Nimesema hivi.
Wewe usiwacha kucheza na mimi, unasikia? Uliza maswali, ati amekuroga.
KBC Channel 1 imeandaa vipindi spesheli katika mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhan mwaka huu kwa ajili yako.
Allahu Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Kando na ukumbi wa Kiislamu na hutuba ya Ijumaa, kutakuwa na makala yanayoangazia maswala ya funga, mawaidha,
whosoever witnesses the month of Ramadan, then he should fast.
Vipindi vya mapishi.
Katika mapishi ya Ramadhani tutatayarisha pilau ya korosho. Utahitaji viazi, vitunguu vinne vikubwa, na zabibu
na kaswida mbalimbali. Pia tumekuandalia kalenda ya Ramadhan ili kukuweka kwenye mstari wa mbele katika funga yako. Tazama runinga ya KBC Channel 1 katika mwezi huu mtukufu wa Ramadhan ili kukuza na kuhifadhi imani yako.
Perfect. Good morning. Welcome to the program. This is Good Morning Kenya. It's now, today is the 6th day of March 2024, when the weatherman says that the rains that you're experiencing is going to continue for the better part of March. So expect to be some cold. It's going to be rainy, whatever part of the country you are in. Karibu sana to the program. Now, later on in the program, today being the viewpoint, we'll be taking a look at completely something different. Politics, put to the back burner, but we want to talk about some young ladies, some young learned friends, they call themselves. In the just concluded LSK elections, young leaders emerged victorious in that election, some of them beating some of the big names in the legal fraternity. So today, being Wednesday, and in the spirit of celebrating the World International Women's Day to be celebrated on Friday, I'll be hosting 4 young ladies who were elected to represent different positions in the Law Society of Kenya. I'm talking about Teresia Wavinya, who is a general member of LSK elect. I'm talking about Zulfa Adam Rodbe, who is an advocate of the High Court, as well as LSK upcountry representative. I'm talking about Gloria Kimani, advocate of the High Court and LSK Nairobi representative. And finally, Otto Irene Akoth, who is advocate of the High Court as well as LSK Nairobi representative. young, learned friends. Stick for that. You don't need to miss. What is the aspiration and dreams for this country? Vivian, how about that?
I would really love to get to hear what they will have to talk about today on your panel, you know, as we also just get to celebrate women. We are starting early this time round. I will also have a woman in studio with me. She is a life coach and business mentor. Her name is Mercy Ndiga, and we will be looking at what she does and how she has gotten to be where she is. What did she do right? And also we'll also get a message from her that is a International Women's Day message from her to all the ladies who are watching us today. Good morning. It is a beautiful Wednesday right here in the city of Nairobi. It got to rain in some parts of Nairobi, as Victor has alluded. The weatherman has said that it is going to be a wet March, but there are going to be a bit of dry spells in between, according to the newspaper and the jargons that I don't know why, the jargon that they use right here. On the Star newspaper, good morning, Mike. I don't know why you guys are laughing.
Let's leave the jargon to the people who use that's their language. Anyway, welcome to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Megwe, and thank you for tuning in. Unatutizama ukiwa wapi. Thank you for making us your #1 choice to start off your day. And also, to Victor, I'm looking forward to that conversation because having an all-women panel, it speaks to the state where we are in as far as women empowerment and achieving is concerned. Yes, it sets pace to, especially to anyone who is viewing. And I look forward to that conversation. And also, you should tune into that conversation. So right about now, Ray, good morning.
Good morning, and I like where the conversation is going in the run-up to the International Women's Day that is going to be marked across the world on the 9th. This happens to be Friday. And I like the conversation that you're going to be having, Victor, too, because you have women at the policy table. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. And when it comes to matters of law, according to the latest report by World Bank, it indicates that women only enjoy 81% of legal rights. So that's a question. Now that they are leading LSK, what are they going to do to ensure that women also get to fully enjoy the available, rather the rights that we have in this our country? Yes, that's something I'd want you to tackle. But as far as matters and news are concerned, we're going to be picking from day 1 of the EALA meetings that are currently happening in Nairobi, where we saw President William Ruto actually open up those meetings, and he made a clarion call to East African heads of state to back Raila Odinga's candidature at the AU. So what dynamics, or rather what does this throw in as far as the political scene? Well, Azimio leader Raila Odinga is also at pains to explain to his ODM members, or rather Azimio members actually, why he seemingly shunned them in his quest for the AU position and gravitated towards the supposed handshake from the president. So there's a lot is happening regionally as well as locally, and we're here for it. We also want you to be part of the conversation. You can interact with us on our social media handles, preferably on, I still have to say it in my head, Twitter. That is X currently. You can get us at KBC Channel 1, and each of us have their own individual handles. Mine is at Ray Manyara, and let's get the conversation going. Now let's bring you up to speed with those stories that have been making headlines in the last 12 hours, and we start off with a probe where the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is pursuing 3 unnamed officers at the National Hospital Insurance Fund that carted away 30 million shillings during the height of the 2022 transition period. The 3, according to EACC, gained access to the fund system and amended members' details to siphon the money. In a report submitted by EACC to the newly established Social Health Insurance Fund, the theft happened exactly 23 days before Kenyans went into the 2022 general election.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission took 2 months to interrogate the National Hospital Insurance Fund systems following claims of loss of public funds.
Some of the key findings of the systems review include weak framework for corruption prevention in the fund.
The damning report by the anti-graft body revealed numerous third-party unauthorized access to the systems leading to loss of public funds. For instance, barely weeks to the August 2022 polls, 3 unnamed staffers at NHIF irregularly amended members' details, occasioning a loss of 30 million shillings of taxpayers' monies.
Management of third-party access to the system, aligning user access with the respective staff operational responsibilities, because these are some of the areas we identified and found weaknesses.
The report further highlighted that between 2019 and 2023, 153 claims were rejected without explanations.
The law provides that we will give them an opportunity to go to be employed by social health authority. However, there is going to be a vetting process to ensure that only those officers who are clean, who are not corrupt, who have not been found in any corrupt practices are the ones who are going to employ in the new social health authority.
The people who may have been in that previous system who are found to be suspects of corruption deals, those people will still be pursued in their individual capacities, irrespective of whether they are left out of the new authority or they join the new authority.
Further, the detailed investigation report has exposed the systemic malpractices in contracting for various packages for the healthcare providers that were not defined. Investigations revealed that a sampled healthcare provider's application took 18 to 50 months to receive approval to provide healthcare services under the fund.
The figure you've been given is 20 to 50 months. Now that was also inducing corruption, making sure that if you have a facility, you want to bribe the officers so that you can be on panel.
Public healthcare providers were not assessed for recontracting, while some operated without valid contracts due to delays in processing their requests. According to the report, instances of approvals for payments of claims for procedures not actually undertaken were very common in Buruburu and Meru branches.
I want to assure you that the systems, procedures that the Social Health Authority is going to develop is going to ensure that the funds, the public funds or the beneficiary funds are taken care of.
But we have always maintained that the only way to be able to deter fraud is to ensure that people don't benefit from it in the first place. So we have to be able to enhance our fraud detection systems and fraud prevention systems.
It remains to be seen if the new Social Health Insurance Fund will be able to implement all the recommendations made by EACC in the coming days, given that they're supposed to take full operation by July this year. Abdiaziz Hashim from the NHIF headquarters.
Well, and we'll be keeping tabs. It seems that that particular money heist was well, planned and executed at a time when we were all looking at what the political scene was looking like during the 2022 general elections. We'll be keeping tabs on that. Now, day one of the EALA meeting, and President William Ruto addressed the East African Legislative Assembly in Nairobi and asked members to fully implement the political federation, the fourth pillar of the East African integration that allows member states to establish a regional force for enhancing peace. President Ruto also used the meeting to vouch for the candidature of Raila Odinga for the African Union Commission chairperson.
At the Parliament buildings in Nairobi, President William Ruto inspected a guard of honor before making his maiden address to the third session of the 5th East African Legislative Assembly. President Ruto hailing the East African community as a magnet for investment.
With a combined GDP of US dollars 350 billion, a population of approximately 350 million, and an expansive area of 5 million square kilometers, the EAC member states are an attractive investment destination.
While boasting unity and integration of the region, the president challenged member states to fully implement the political federation to have the region have a standby force.
We now have in place protocols on defense as well as peace and security, together with the EAC Mutual Defense Pact, which has already been concluded in Kenya, in Uganda, and in Burundi. And we already made a decision last year in Arusha that that process must be concluded in the other remaining states by June this year.
President Ruto called on the EAC states to remove trade barriers for easy movement of goods and the people and help white out the narrative that Africa was a continent of the poor, driven by poverty and diseases, to one of the immense opportunities.
The story is not about disease, it's not about conflict, it's not about poverty. It is about great potential that we have. It is about the opportunities that we have. It is about the investment that is awaiting, and position our continent as the only place where the next industrial revolution is going to happen.
The head of state revealing that EAC member states had consulted to sponsor a single candidate for the African Union Commission chairmanship as the term of Musa Faki of Chad comes to an end next year.
It is going to be the turn for East Africa to provide the chair of the Africa Union. We have sat down in the spirit of the East African community. We have consulted as heads of state from the East African community together, and we have agreed to sponsor one candidate.
The Assembly last sat in Kenya in 2018. The East African Legislative Assembly will conduct 8 sittings in Nairobi for 3 weeks, with conflict in DR Congo being among the issues expected to be tabled for discussion. Giverson Mana at the Parliament Buildings, Nairobi.
Well, called to speak in one voice in as far as the AU chairperson's quest is concerned. Question is, what happens to Somalia's candidate? Have they agreed to step down just as Jakaya Kikwete did so? Well, we'll be keeping tabs on that. That was just day 1. Today's day 2 of the meetings right here in Nairobi. Now, 2 people died Tuesday after a mid-air collision, which involved a Cessna aircraft belonging to 99's Flying School and a Dash 8 plane belonging to Safari Link Aviation Limited. 44 people escaped unharmed in the mid-morning accident. As Joseph Wahungu reports, police in collaboration with the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority have commenced investigations into the incident.
Debris of an aircraft belonging to 99's Flying School strewn all over inside Nairobi National Park. This was the aftermath of a mid-air collision involving the plane and an aircraft belonging to Safari Link Aviation Limited. Our visit to 99's Flying School at Wilson Airport confirming the incident, with the management of the institution who declined to speak on camera, also confirming the deaths of a trainee pilot and an instructor, and that their families were being briefed. In a statement, Safari Link Aviation Limited stated that its Diani-bound plane with 39 passengers and 5 crew on board was forced to turn back to Wilson Airport after experiencing a loud bang shortly after takeoff at 9:45 a.m. The statement further confirmed that the plane landed safely with no casualties reported. Meanwhile, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, KCAA, in a statement has said that a multi-agency investigation is being carried out by Air Accident Investigation Department, AAID, and the police to establish the cause of the accident.
Investigations are underway. Now, Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakumasia has urged medical doctors to remain patient as the ministry resolves the delayed posting of interns. Nakumasia said discussions with union officials are ongoing to resolve the matter, a day after the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union issued a 7-day strike notice to demand the interns' absorption.
A day after medical practitioners took to the streets of Nairobi to protest the delayed posting of interns among other grievances, Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakumicha has responded, urging the medical professionals to be patient as the ministry addresses the matter.
Mine is to ask for their patience as we finalize. I know they are anxious about the posting, but once we resolve the outstanding issues, once we bring everybody on the table to discuss, and there's already progress, we will be able to communicate to them before the time that they have given us. We'll be able to communicate to them a solution.
She emphasized the need for dialogue between the ministry and the doctors' union, stating that a strike will not solve the issue.
A solution will only be found when we sit on the table and discuss as all stakeholders. Remember, we have county governments, they are stakeholders in this matter. We have the Ministry of Labour, they are stakeholders in this matter. We have National Treasury, they are stakeholders in this matter. Ministry of Health is just but a very small stakeholder in this matter.
Nakumicha further said the ministry was sourcing funding for the interns, posting and trainers to supervise them.
And one of the important pillars of universal health coverage is health workers. So there's no way I can ignore them. There's no way the ministry can ignore them. We are going to do all that we need to do to ensure that we have enough, sufficient and adequate health workers, including the interns.
Nakumicha, however, emphasized the importance of internship centers meeting specific requirements, including the presence of medical officers, specialists, equipment and health commodities for medical interns.
To maximize concessional borrowing for external financing while minimizing commercial borrowing as a strategy to prevent the country from sinking into a debt crisis. The National Assembly, while considering the 2024 medium-term debt management strategy, implored the National Treasury to spend within its budget to reduce the fiscal deficit. The Treasury projects a reduction of fiscal deficit for the financial year 2024-2025.
With the public debt stock standing at a historical high of 11.2 trillion shillings, members of the National Assembly debated the debt management strategy proposed by the National Treasury, while MPs allied to the government lauded the projected reduction in fiscal deficit for the financial year 2024-2025. The minority party took issue with the National Executive for continuing to borrow despite the absorption rate being low.
If the National Treasury discovers within the year that our revenues are either not performing or improving, then it is imperative that they also review the expenditure side of our budget.
Each borrowing must have a purpose that is serving and an approval.
The government aims to maximize concessional borrowing for external financing, while minimizing commercial borrowing as a strategy to cushion the country from a debt crisis.
We were told that borrowing, in fact, they demonized the previous head of state, and apparently borrowing was supposedly a very bad thing. And now we are continuing to borrow. We are planning to borrow. We are setting up ourselves to borrow some more money.
The deficit has come down from 886 billion, and we have come down to around 703.9 billion shillings, which is just around 3.9% deficit to GDP ratio, and which is a very good path, Honorable Speaker, when it comes to managing our appetite to borrow.
The National Treasury estimates next year's expenditures will be 4.1 trillion shillings against a projected revenue of 3.4 trillion shillings. The legislators want the National Treasury to explain measures to reduce domestic debt service burden. The lawmakers further want the government to renegotiate and disburse external loans.
We are just paying interest on something because we went and we agreed we will borrow, but even the borrowing has not arrived in the country.
We need to seriously consider having a public debt act so that it can legislate and strictly seal any loopholes where the Public Finance Management Act does not cover.
Meanwhile, the National Assembly has expedited the consideration of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Amendment Bill in a bid to hasten the reconstitution of the electoral agency. Debate on the bill is set to commence Wednesday, following the reduction in the publication period of the proposed law.
The head of public service, Felix Koskei, has raised the red flag over runway graft, nepotism and employment of unqualified and inexperienced staff by county governments. Speaking during the ongoing Intergovernmental Relations Symposium in Naivasha, Nakuru County, Koskei said the employment of incompetent individuals has led to increased cases of corruption, wastage of public resources and low absorption of development funds in the devolved units.
The second day of the Intergovernmental Relations Symposium in Naivasha, Nakuru County. It is here that Head of Public Service Felix Koskei put county governments on the spot over failure to deal decisively with the dragon of corruption.
Corruption is too much. It is becoming unbearable.
Koskei noted that graft was ravaging counties, leading to poor service delivery. He alleged that fake contractors with the support of county officers were seeking payments for works done by the national government.
Roads that are repaired by national government, county governments comes to be.
The Chief of Staff also decried cases of nepotism, noting that the majority of counties employed workers from the same community.
You can even secure some few, about 30% critical positions, and then you put people who are experienced. And the county will run, absorption will be okay, issues of wastage will not be there, corruption will go down because they know what to do and how to do it.
Speaking at the same forum, Devolution Principal Secretary Teresia Mbaika called for collaboration between the national and county governments in resolving disputes.
One of the studies by World Bank and the findings is that we had a weak intergovernmental relations. And through the State Department of Devolution and other stakeholders, we have worked on a program with the bank, World Bank, whereby some of these issues are going to be addressed.
The Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, IGRTC, is currently working on the final report on the transfer of all devolved functions in line with the Constitution.
When we transfer functions and we transfer resources, we would expect that the ministries, departments and agencies involved will need to reorganize themselves. And at the same time, the county governments will also see that as an opportunity also to review their structures, their establishment, their staffing levels, also as a basis for also reviewing their competencies.
So employment of incompetent persons at the county level or the county devolved units is abhorring or rather prohibiting well use of development funds. Well, now that takes us to matters business, and the question is, how often do you use your mobile banking app? Well, a report by the Kenya Bankers Association indicates that more Kenyans are opting to use mobile banking for banking services as opposed to visiting banking halls. Now, that particular survey by the Kenya Bankers Association attributes this to increased digitization that has also seen the access to banking services for those with special needs increase to 93%.
Digital banking has become increasingly important in the banking industry as more Kenyans prefer mobile banking. Online banking is the second most preferred channel at 24.6%. A slight uptick compared to the 23.3% preference in 2022. On the other hand, card payments preference stood at 7.1%, while agency banking preference among customers stood at 6.9%, with cash deposit machines the least preferred channel.
This trend continues to be driven by high digital adoption among the banking population, supported by easy-to-use and reliable banking services available on the market, and a growing level of mobile and internet penetration.
93.5% of customers with special needs were able to access banking services easily due to high digitization carried out by lenders.
The underway banking industry persons with disability accessibility project, which is being coordinated by the KBA, continues to enable banks to put measures in place that will ensure full and independent access to banking services, especially by the people living with the disabilities.
53.2% of Kenyans hold 2 or more accounts in 2023, compared to 48.2% in 2022.
The driver for multi-banking is that customers are able to get the variety of services available. A customer may not be able to get a service from one bank and they'll be able to get it from another bank. So by combining these relationships, they're able to get full satisfaction.
Cooperative Bank of Kenya was the overall winner of the Banking Industry Customer Satisfaction Survey. Coop Bank was also named the best bank in the Customer Satisfaction Survey in the Tier 1 category, with Family Bank and ABC topping in Tier 2 and 3 respectively.
For every 150 shillings men earn, women earn 50 shillings less. This is according to the latest World Bank Group report, which further indicates a massive, wider than expected global gender gap for women in the workplace. As Warimo Njenga narrates, in the 190 economies surveyed, no country provides equal opportunities for women, not even the wealthiest economies.
The latest Women, Business and Law report by the World Bank recognizes the progress made over the decades in enacting equal opportunity laws for women. However, women still enjoy less than 2/3 of the legal rights available to men and not 3/4 as previously. The report, which expanded the scope of its analysis, adding to indicators, safety from violence and access to childcare services, shows women on average enjoy just 64% of the legal protections that men do, a decline from the previous estimate of 77%. When these additional indicators taken into consideration, no country provides equal opportunity for women, not even just one high-income economy. The report further highlights a massive gender gap for women in the global workplace, which they say is much wider than previously thought, and that women earn just 77 cents for every dollar paid to men. For instance, out of 190 economies, 98 economies have enacted legislation mandating equal pay for women for work of equal value. Countries such as Jordan, Malaysia, Oman, Sierra Leone, among others, have enacted 10 reforms mandating equal pay for work for equal value or lifting restrictions on a woman's ability to work in industrial or dangerous jobs. 35 economies, fewer than 1 out of every 5, have adopted pay transparency measures or enforcement mechanisms to address the pay gap. Experts perceive that approximately half of women in the examined economies have equality when it comes to pay and access to high-paying jobs. Chief Economist of the World Bank Group and Senior Vice President for Development Economist Gill says discriminatory laws and practices are preventing women from working or starting businesses on equal footing with men, noting that closing the gap could raise global gross domestic product, essentially doubling the global growth rate over the next decade. The implementation gap highlights how much hard work lies ahead, even for countries that have been instituting equal opportunity laws. Togo, for instance, has been a standout among sub-Saharan economies, enacting laws that give women roughly 77% of the rights available to men.
Now, that particular report also sets the ball rolling for a conversation coming up next with none other than Victor Law, as he engages ladies who are seated at the policy-making table. The statistics are not so good, especially when we address issues of women. And when you say he, she, I'm saying he, Victor, yes. When we're addressing she matters, these are women issues. We're looking at the International Women's Day that is coming up on Friday. When it comes to law, according to that particular report, women only enjoy 81% of legal rights. That's another thing we want to see and hear from the ladies who are going to be in the panel this morning, how they want that addressed going forward. Areas of focus when you look at matters of parity, according to that report: health, education, workplace, and also gender-based violence. So that puts a couple of matters in news this morning. Just to remind you the results, and as far as the Champions League round of 16 is concerned, we had Bayern Munich squaring out with Lazio and scoring 3 again against Nil for Lazo. And also we had PSG squaring it out with Real Sociedad, where PSG scored 2 against a solitary goal for Real. Talking about today's matches, we are having at around 11 tonight, Manchester City is going to be taking on FC Copenhagen, while Real Madrid is going to be squaring it out with RB Leipzig. Well, choose your match, enjoy the game. Have a great day ahead.
On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out. Who is the man in this one?
And the laughter.
Hii wigi umevaa kichwani.
Sisi wakati tulikuwa tunapishwa tunapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow.
We are the full package.
Oh, yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Kuna mambo unaelewa mambo ya mapenzi. Basi nichanue mama Jabari. Sare.
Whatever plan you have, please don't count me in.
You know, I've told a lot of people that I'm here. So if you try anything stupid, who would know that we are here? Tina, I promise I'll leave it alone.
We're gonna put 600 daily.
Wow. Sitaomoka. Ukiniibia. Unibie mimi. Imagine nakuroga.
Well, Alex, I just gave you a damsel in distress to rescue. You owe me one.
Wewe, mbona ukustaki huyu mdemu? Pete, ndiye aliniambia kichwa ya Christine inarukanga sometime. Ndio nakwambia ni fala ya kawa.
我跟军管会已经了解情况了。虽然说程丽华力主重判，但是以你的情况，应该是10年左右，地方你都可以进去。
我就在这等着。计算机处理错误，计算机处理错误。检修人员身后座位查看电路，考危险。
红号单元故障，3号自动电磁管收回，有一单元投入正常，排查。断点。时间的尽头。
All right, it's now 12 minutes past 7 a.m. Good morning, welcome to the program. Today being Awareness Day is the Viewpoint, and today we want to take a look at the young learned friends. World International Women's Day coming up on Friday to be celebrated in Embu County. President William Ruto set to grace that particular function. So today, I have got three ladies who excelled in the just concluded Law Society of Kenya elections, which was held last week, and they triumphed in different locations, different areas of their representation in the LSK, and we just want to hear from them. How was it all about? You know, maneuvering in that field, beating some of the big names in that field. How is it? And what is the aspiration for the Law Society of Kenya in areas of representation? How are they going to steer it? You have to stick around for that. All right? Welcome, ladies. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is how we do it every day at 6 a.m. This is how we do it. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Okay. But before we do that, let me take you through the traffic situation before you get out of the house. The traffic situation in the capital city, not so looking. The stretch along Thika Road is already a mess. Thika Road starting all the way from Muthaiga Square here, going back past Mathari Mental Hospital that we have around KCA University. That's town inbound, and that's going past Outer Ring Road around there. That's all substage. So Thika Road is a mess as we speak. The main highway as well as the service lane is already bumper to bumper as you come into the CBD. That is already spilling over to Kiambu Road that's headed past the criminal investigations. That is the DCI. So what to Kiambu Road, you'll have to be very much patient today again. How about the Western Circuit? When you come all the way from ABC Place coming to Westlands roundabout here, the shopping center coming past Villarosa Kempinski and into the CBD, looking pretty fine. Nothing much to report about. That also goes all the way to around this Mombasa Road. Mombasa Road looking pretty fine this morning as you come into the CBD. And that's also extending to Langata Road. Langata Road, a bit of some busy place here, this around Uru Gardens, but after that is moving as you come towards Western Hotel and finally Mbagathi Way. How about Ngong Road? Ngong Road, good morning. A few patches of traffic, but it's busy as you come towards the Junction Mall. That is where, because of the traffic lights, that also extends towards Kingara Road. So you head towards Bitanga Road, you can get an alternative route if you want to get to the CBD. That's what we have here. How about the coastal city, that is Mombasa. Mombasa, good morning. The Likoni ferry channel is already busy. Majority of people are now crossing from Likoni, getting to the side of the island. We have to be patient again at Mombasa. How about Makupa Causeway into the CBD? Ikwaje? Yeah, this is how we have it. So today it's pretty fine. Makupa Bridge, one of the blessings to Mombasa residents coming into Makupa Police Station, roundabout there, get to the CBD. Now, as you head over to the other side of Kongwe Market, today the New Nyale Bridge is not a mess. So, Mombasa, wake up, please. Let's go to work. A bit of some traffic here around Kengeleni. That is not so bad, but the entire stretch heading towards the entire Malindi Road looking pretty good. Now, finally, let's head over to Kisumu and see what's happening in the city of Kisumu. Kisumu, majorly, the entire stretch looks good. The outlook looks pretty good. So where we have it, head from Kondele coming into the CBD, looking pretty fine. So Watu Kisumu, good morning, and let's wake up and make it work. All right, so let's take a look at what you have on the front page of the local dailies. Let me start with the front page of the People Daily. How NHIF was looted. This is what's on the front page of the People Daily. How NHIF was looted. A probe by anti-graft team reveals how officials colluded with the hospitals to steal millions from a health insurer that has become a national poster boy for avarice and ineptitude. This is what you have. The report was also handed over to ESC. ESCC, that is how NHIF was looted. That's according to the Graft case. Ruto, Raila will be ESC candidate. Kenyan arch rivals back opposition chief for AU top job. That is on the front page of the People Daily. And finally, ex-soldier 6 dues for 36 years. This is on the front page of the People Daily. And finally, TSC promotes 36,505 teachers. 1 billion shillings needed for needed to be set aside for elevation of tutors, and then 333 recognized for performance in extracurricular activities, and finally 1,930 deputy principals of regular schools who benefited. So that is what we have here on the front page of the People Daily. How about we cross over and see what's on the front page of the Daily Nation? State travel ban that never was. Straight travel ban that never was. Circular by head of public service also limited delegation sizes for government officials. All right. So there are figures out there, and between July 2023 going back to 2021. And now, according to Margaret Jakango, who is the controller of budget, the government travel ban nearly doubled within 3 months of an October 2023 travel ban imposed to reduce wastage, as globe-trotting public officials ignored austerity measures amid tough economic times. This saw the state spend 7.05 billion shillings on local and foreign trips. After the directive, a huge jump from 4.33 billion shillings. That is story on the front page. More paid as new ID passports fees take effect. There are changes there. Moving from 4,000 to 7,000. Can take a look at what some of the revised charges there. Pay rise for 36,500 promoted teachers, again on the front page of the People Daily. That's what we have here. That's also reflected on the front page of the Daily Nation. Ladies, allow me to ask you this. What do you make of this? Starting with you, Zulfa, as you usually do. What do you make of this headline? State travel ban that never was.
I think it's unfortunate that our state officials, well, we are all hurting as a country.
Yeah.
They would spend public funds to globetrot and take unnecessary trips. I think we need to have more consequences. Feels like sometimes in the public service, the circulars are just to pacify the public. But what is really happening is the wastage never stops.
Yes. And you call yourself GK?
Yes.
Kimani, the amount doubled from 4.33 billion shillings to 7 billion shillings. That is almost 3 billion shillings.
Yes.
What do you make of this?
It's really sad when we look at it after the directive was given, is when it has almost tripled in 3 months. So we are looking at a government that is not even taking advice from the people who have been put there in office to advise them on how we should move forward. So it's a really sad state of affairs that this is how we are headed as a country. And it begs the question, if this is happening, what else in the future do we have in hold?
What else do you have in the future? Wafinya?
Thank you very much. As my two colleagues have mentioned, it is actually a very sad state of affair because these directions that are being given through the circular, they were given by the body that is constituted by the Constitution.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we are living in the days that the Constitution is just like a book that is not even obeyed by the current government. That's why we see even court orders being disobeyed. I wouldn't be surprised why they can't even obey a direction circular from SRC. So it's high time we put punitive measures that are going to ensure the persons responsible, the office responsible, will bear the consequences. Yes.
All right. Very good. So this almost end. What about the People Daily? Let me get that on the People Daily. How NHIF was looted. This is more of a normal story that we hear almost every day. NHIF, NSSF, and now we have it here. And you're still going to be deducted that money. But when you look at this, does this really worry you as a Kenyan? Zulfa, let me start with you again.
Oh, it worries me a lot as a Kenyan because I am frustrated by the healthcare system. I pay my NHIF deductions monthly, which is supposed to be the pooling of our health risks as a country. But then because NHIF is not working the way it's supposed to be, when friends and family, people are sick, we still have another place where we're having harambes every other day. So-and-so is in hospital, so-and-so is in hospital. And if NHIF works, we would not have to have the harambes that we have as Kenyans whenever someone is sick. And the reason it's not working is because of the looting. The hospitals colluding with officials at NHIF to simply loot public funds at the expense of Kenyans.
And again, starting 300 shillings, and it's taken momentum. So you'd imagine, what would make me to pay while I have to see this kind of headline on a daily? GK.
You know, just thinking about it, this NHIF issue is not a new kid in the block. It has been there from time immemorial, like we've heard of the looting, but I have never seen something ever happening before. So it begs the question, even when the new prices are increased, what happens to it? So I think we need to put accountability measures. NHIF issues have been there from the beginning, and I think it's about time that EACC takes action on it and not just talking about it. Yes.
When you look at this, people are reading these newspapers, even across our borders. And when you step out of a country and you see this newspaper online, and you say, you're from Kenya, see this.
Yeah, it's high time we have enough talks and action being taken.
Right.
Because Kenya is one of the most celebrated countries in East Africa and also in Africa. When we go out there lobbying for positions, Kenya will always come first. But when it comes to management accountability, it is zero.
It's wanting.
Yeah. It is not just only that they are looting. The other day they brought in new 3 acts that are going to divide the health system. How are we going to trust that the new provisions that have been brought on board, they're going to salvage us if the already provisions that are there, they're never helping the common mwananchi. To add salt to the injury, they're not just looting, but they're also diverting the funds from NHIF to other ministries. I mean, are we a joke?
Are we a joke? That's a big question. I'd like to have that. Are we a joke? On the standard, this is what you have. It's more political. Raila faces tough queries from Azimio. They held a meeting yesterday, and word has it that Raila was hard-pressed to explain how he got into quote-unquote handshake with President William Ruto. He was on the spot. Azimio principals Carpet Odinga in a 10th summit meeting where the coalition leader was hard-pressed to explain why he snubbed the party bosses on his African AU Commission job bid, and now he's reached at sort of a handshake with President William Ruto to a point of earning government support. Of course, Raila had to get support from his motherland, of course. There's no way he was going to get to Addis Ababa, and yet he doesn't have that vote from Kenya. But hey, politics. Allow me to leave at that particular point. Again, reminder, you can head over to Google Play and download the KBC app. Take a look at whatever you want, real time. We have got business, radio services, etc., and you're going to be updated on what we have here on the show. You can also find us live on X, that is on KBC Channel 1. We have got the show. This is Rashid. Rashid, what are you doing here? Hey. Rashid and Dora Maya. Okay, there we have it. So we have got real-time update on our page there. You can take a look at what we really have. So these are the ladies today on set. I have got Teresa Wavinya again. She's the general member of LSK, elect advocate of the High Court, who is also Zulfa Adan Roble, who is an advocate of the High Court, LSK upcountry representative. You'll have to explain to us what is upcountry representative, all right? Otto joining me shortly. She is the LSK Nairobi representative, and Gloria Kimani, she called herself GK, advocate of the High Court and LSK Nairobi Council member-elect. Okay, ladies, you have this. First question, how does it feel, Zulfa, to be in that position?
It feels good,
right?
That my colleagues trusted me to serve them in the council. And it was challenging, campaigns were challenging, but I'm grateful, feel good that my colleagues have trusted me now, and I'm aware to whom much is given, much is expected. So we have a lot to do for our members, for lawyers.
The battle was that bad, I would imagine.
It was tough. You have to crisscross the whole country for all the positions in the LSK Council. So you have to go and talk to lawyers across the country, convince them why are you the best candidate for the job.
Okay. Kimani.
Yes.
You said now it's time for you to do some Uji power. Why now you can enjoy your Uji power comfortably? Why?
As Zulfa has said, it was a tough terrain for us. We had to go from Mombasa to Kisumu. Like for her, she had to leave Garissa and come to all these other areas. So we also didn't get to enjoy like our normal day. For 2 months, it was apart, and we had to intense campaigns and move everywhere. So right now is when we are going back to our normal routine of the daily things, and adjusting is quite difficult.
Yeah.
And we are doing it right now.
You're doing it right now.
Yes, I'm enjoying my Uji power. Yes.
Wavinya, Uji power. I would imagine sleepless nights. You know, the numerous meetings and, you know, lobbying across the country, as your colleagues have put it. How was it for you?
It is an experience that you cannot explain it unless you actually partake in it. Because you meet colleagues across the country. Majority are very friendly, warm, embracing. Others, they don't see the essence of even having the election, but they recognize that LSK needs a change, so they'll still give you an opportunity to talk to them. But above all, it is the trust that our members have put upon us. They have decided, among all the people who are in that category, like I'll speak about my category, the general member representative, we were 8 of us, and out of those 8, I was the youngest. And I managed to be among the people who are elected. So it is not something you take for granted. It is something that you appreciate every day, that members of the noble profession, advocates, decided to trust in you to propel their profession in the next 2 years with nobility. Yes.
I like that, noble profession. Pontius Pilate was a judge, if I would recall it.
Yes.
So legal profession was in the Bible.
Yes.
So as journalists.
One of the oldest
scribes,
profession.
The same category. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us.
Thank you.
The latest women, business and law report.
Sasa nyoka inakucha, nyoka ina mabawa. Umesema hivi? Wewe usiwacha kucheza na mimi, unasikia? Uliza maswali, ati amekuroga.
Still continue the discussion here today, being Wednesday. They usually say it's ladies' night. I don't know who came up with that. Today is ladies' night. Why don't you have men's night? I don't understand. Men's night. But we'll find out why it's not. Irene joining me on set. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
We've just decided to continue the discussion, but well and good, you've just joined us. Karibu sana to the program. So let me start with you again, Zulfa. You said that the battle was that intense, you know, intense moments of sleepless night. You know, you have to convince your colleagues across the country. But at the end of the day, you had some big names in the battle. When you were submitting your nomination papers and you looked at that list, first of all, what went through your mind? You almost gave up?
No, I did not almost give up because the whole the process is you must first believe in yourself. Before you ask others to believe in you, you have to first believe in yourself and put yourself out there. Say, I have something to offer. I believe I have something to offer. I'm going to put myself out there so that my colleagues can look at me and look at the others who I'm competing with and decide who among us will serve them best, they believe will serve them best.
So what are these things that you believe in?
Well, I believe in a society that works for all lawyers, even especially those of us who are far from the center.
Yeah.
I practice law in Garissa. It's a relatively small practice center, but we also have challenges that are unique to us, that are different from the challenges people in Nairobi have. Imagine it's the same for people practicing in Busia or practicing in Maralal, for instance. So sometimes, because for a long time, most of the people who get elected to LSK practice in the center in Nairobi. It's important to have that voice so that we can also address the issues that those further from the center face.
Yeah, so that's why you're an up-country representative?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So GK, at the end of the day, what do you stand for?
Mostly what Gloria stands for is accountability. Accountability, we have been elected by our members and they entrust us with everything to take care of their social welfare, to take care of their practice. So we, at the end of the day, leaders are accountable to the people who voted for them. And what I believe mostly in is accountability in the people who entrusted you and voted for you and put you in this position for you to serve them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is going to be your clarion call for the next 2 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wavinya?
I stand for the nobility of the profession by safeguarding our profession away from these quacks and masqueraders who have had the audacity to actually infiltrate our profession, to take our jobs, to make a mockery out of our profession. You know, when an advocate is or a person who's admitted to be an advocate, we all have a database that contains all our names. When someone who's not an advocate or a quack and decides to practice law and they go and mess a client's matter, there's no way you can hold them accountable, because if you come and report to LSK, we don't have them in our database.
Yeah.
So I stand for taking them away from our profession. We have been doing this at the Nairobi branch, where Gloria and I serve as council members before we were elevated to the national office. And I want to ensure, as a general member, it is something that we do for all the branches for LSK, so that they know that you're going to breathe fire upon them. If they want to practice law, let them go to law school. Let them be admitted. And let them come back and we'll embrace them.
Yes.
Thank you.
So what happens in this case when, in this scenario, a quack, quote unquote, all right, I had some cases, some of them, he won. I cannot ascertain that. So what happens in such a case? Do you revisit such a case? Do you open that file afresh?
Unfortunately, in the scenario that the other counterpart, who's an advocate, recognizes that this person is not an advocate, they will have all those proceedings quashed. Now imagine this client has used their money on this person. All the time, the resources that have been wasted handling that matter, be it the court's time, be it the government's resources through the courts and judicial officers, be it the client themselves. All that has to be quashed down because someone decided to do the wrong thing. So I stand for the right thing.
You stand for the right thing?
Yes.
How did it feel when your name went up there, that you're an advocate of quacks?
When we started this initiative back 2 years ago as Nairobi branch, because matters welfare and practice, they are under the branches. It was not easy because we are young. We did not have the full capacity in terms of resources. So we had to think out of the box on how we can bring in the other stakeholders, be it the police, be it the DPP, so that we get the support. So initially, we had not figured it out 100, but we managed and we've been doing it. So far, we have arrested more than 13 quacks here in Nairobi.
That's a huge number.
Yes.
All right.
And 2 in Nakuru. And we'll continue until we cleanse our profession.
I'll get back to that shortly. Irene, karibu sana. Let me get your mic. At the end of the day, you've won. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
How does it feel?
Well, It's a bit surreal. First, I'm very happy. I put in so much work because for me, I was the new entrant. I had not been in branch before. I was not in council. I had not vied for any position before, so I was basically starting from scratch. So that meant that I had to go to the people and introduce myself to the advocates. So, and I had to put in so much effort. And it eventually paid off. And now I am actually very happy. And I can say that hard work pays, yes.
Hard work pays?
Yes.
So goes the cliche. You know, Zulfa, that story opens a whole point of an inspiration. You know, you can start from somewhere, the audacity of hope, or Barack Obama, the audacity of hope. You delve yourself there, you drown yourself, you dip yourself in the deep waters, and here you are. Again, when you look at the entire structure, some of them are saying that you didn't have resources, campaigning and crisscrossing the country, marshalling your colleagues, but here you are. Allow me to ask you this. Some of the big names had political backing. Did you have a political backing? Do you have a political father or godmother, did you?
No, I do not have a political...
It could be safe to say no, because now you're in the position.
No, it's true. I do not have a political godfather or godmother. I'm just an advocate with a small practice in Garissa. And I decided to try. And luckily, my colleagues entrusted me. It is, of course, it's expensive, crisscrossing the country in terms of both time and money. And for us as young advocates, our time is really limited. You know, we do not have much. We have to attend. I have to attend to my practice, and I have to campaign. I have to go and see advocates. So it is tough. Sometimes it's one of the barriers to entry. Resources. You look at will I really be able to do this in terms of resources?
You want to make a step then, like, wait a minute, I saw somebody coming here, and the way aliingia hapo kwa hii room, you freeze. But Gloria, you'd imagine waking up in the morning, you have that burning desire that I have to make it either way. We've had so many women who've been at the helm of LSK, and being, again, the president is a woman, the second one after Waziri, Omamo. Look at it this way. What is the projection? Have you just started?
I think it's a very big win for the woman. A very big win for the woman. One, for lawyers to entrust. She's actually the first president, woman president of the Law Society of Kenya. Rachel Omamo was the chair. And I think it's a very big win, especially as we are going forward looking forward to Women's Day on Friday. I think it's a very big win for the woman. And I think this is now the challenge. Is she going to work? And I believe people have entrusted her. They have seen her work as she started as a Nairobi representative, where Otto and I sit, and then she went to the vice president, and now she's the president. She has shown that she has worked all through that she has been given powers by the people to work, and I think we are headed in the right direction. We are actually headed in the right direction, and now seeing that majority of the Law Society of Kenya is the president likes to call it, the president-elect likes to call it purple, and I think being more of women, I think people are now believing in women leadership, and how it's going to go, I think, will be measured by that. Yes.
She's talked about quacks.
Yes.
How does that really affect you as a person when you have got quacks in the profession? We also have quacks in our profession, by the way.
You do?
Yes, we have them. How does it affect you?
Unqualified people, how personally it affects me. Unqualified people being in a space they do not belong actually affects that kind of profession. It affects the practice, how they practice, because they give you low standards, and actually people get to think that maybe lawyers have low standards, but that's not actually the case. That is because unqualified people came into the profession and they're spoiling the profession. So the profession name being spoiled as a young advocate, it also affects me, because people do not believe in me as a young advocate or as an advocate. They're saying, if they can go to court and win and they do not have certificates, why can't we do it? Secondly, they take up the spaces that belong to advocates. So it affects their bread and butter. It affects me because I cannot put food on the table. I cannot pay rent. So those are the things we need to look at, and that's how it actually affects us. And that's why we were very strong in fighting masqueraders, and we'll continue fighting masqueraders.
Yes.
Yes.
And the dispensation of unfair justice, because you have got people who are not qualified going before the courts. But then, did you have a godmother, godfather, politically speaking?
I did not, having my name as GK, but people believed in me.
Yes.
Even going as GK and telling people my name is GK, Gloria Kimani, they did not affiliate me to any government affiliations because they knew the work that I had done. And no, I am not a state project. I do not have a godfather or mother anywhere.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you a state project?
I'm not.
All of you are not?
Yeah. We had, as Zulfa was mentioning, as a young council, this is my 6th year, we don't have big coffers to support us. So it was a real struggle. You balance, at night you're working, you have to wake up at 6 to post online, to go to door to door, finish in the evening, you work so that you'll be able to sustain those travels. Otherwise, give up. But there's no space for giving up. There's no relenting.
No relenting. I would imagine, perhaps Irene, just say yes, you had.
I'm the first in my line to actually be a lawyer. So trust me, there's nobody out there who would... I do not have any godfathers or mothers. Yeah, so my family actually looks up to me. And when I called my mother and told her that I had won, she was so happy. She actually started singing. Yes. Because she was so excited. Because this for her is a very big deal. Yes.
Zulfa, what makes you awake at night? You know, in your area of practice, what really makes you awake at night? And then now you're in this position.
Sometimes the things that keep me up at night is provisions of laws that are outdated, that laws that need to be amended, that our parliamentarians have not gotten to amending, and they frustrate us in practice because you're working on something and you're thinking this provision of the law is out of date. We need to do something about it. Because now it's affecting my practice. Maybe, for example, there's a tribunal that works a lot, the business premises rent tribunal. This tribunal handles a lot of matters, and this tribunal often gives orders, restrictive orders. So you have a tenant, a landlord is trying to evict them, and lawfully you go to this tribunal, you get an order, then the landlord decides to ignore the order. The law requires you now to go to the magistrate's court after the tribunal to register that order and then make an application to the High Court to be able to enforce that order. So that process is very long before you can ever get to enforcing this order and seeing consequences for this landlord who is disobeying an order of a quasi-judicial body of a tribunal. So such provisions keep me up at night.
Yeah, keeps you awake at night.
Yes.
Gloria?
Mine basically is the service to the people, and being in the Law Society of Kenya, it's more about the rule of law. Are we following, as she has said, now she's talking of a landlord not following court orders. We are talking about the government. Are they following court orders? Those are the things that really keep you at night thinking, if we do not fight this, and remember, being in the Law Society of Kenya, everyone is looking at you. They're the ones, Wanjiko is expecting that you fight for them, because nobody else will fight for them the way we do. Even the judiciary is looking at us. Are we going to fight for them? The other day we saw the executive trying to interfere with the judiciary. Who stood up for them? It's the lawyers. So what actually keeps me up at night is how do we serve Wanjiko better? How do we serve the advocates better? And how we go about that. Yes.
I believe fighting, kicking them out of the profession, the unqualified quote-unquote lawyers, that keeps you awake at night. I would just guess. Any other thing that keeps you awake at night?
Yeah, the welfare of our members, the advocates. I believe man is not man without a good health. You could not have come here if you are mentally disturbed. if you are physically ill or you are not capable. So what keeps me at night, apart from fighting quacks, it's the welfare of our members.
Right.
Welfare starts from good health. Welfare goes to the office space. How do we relate with each other, with our bosses? How do the employees and employers, how is the employee and employer relation? And above all, unifying the profession from the senior to the mid and the young. We cannot say we are going to fight for the Wanjiku if we are not unified. We cannot say we are going to fight for our spaces advocates if we are not unified.
Okay. Irene,
For
what
me,
keeps you awake at night? It's 1 a.m., but you're still awake. Think about something.
Incomplete tasks. If I have something I have not done, or I'm supposed to do but I didn't do it, halfway somewhere, or maybe I forgot about it, I always wonder, is there something I can do about it? Was it an omission on my part? Did I rub somebody the wrong way? Did I maybe step on toes somewhere? Like, I'm literally always awake thinking of what is it that I could have done different.
Yes.
Yes, and that perhaps maybe think of how to actually do it better the next day, or how to approach it going forward. Yes.
My director is asking me to ask all of you, do you feel intimidated when you meet senior counsels at the bar? Zulfa, hey, ndio huyu hapa sasa hii kesi inakuja. Do you?
No, not necessarily. Of course, we look at some of the senior counsels with a lot of respect, and we are in awe of them. But once they are opposing counsel, when you know you're going against senior counsel, you spend your night preparing. You know you have to be very prepared. Yes. So, because you have to also prove to your client, do not mind that he is senior.
Yes.
I am also qualified and I have really prepared for whatever we are doing today. There's some intimidation, but we prepare for it. That is how we deal with it.
That is the rule of your game. You intimidate your opponent. You intimidate your opponent. Gloria.
Definitely we do get intimidated. But let me tell you, kujiaminia. We are all advocates. There's nobody who's higher than the other one. We are all advocates of the High Court of Kenya. So as she has said, yes, we do get intimidated, but you prepare well. You prepare, you come prepared everything, so that even when you're meeting your opponent, you know they have an upper hand maybe in experience, but your law is okay, your facts are okay. So at least there you can be able to average it, and you'll be fine.
Okay, according to us, lawyers distort the truth. You take it from A, you take it to B, and then you make it look like this is a reality. So you are all trained to lie. Are you?
For lack of a better word, there's someone who said the law is an ass. In the manner of, there's no yes or no answer. That's why you presume we distort the facts, but we don't. You look at the facts that are going to favor your client, you study the law effectively to aid your client's case, and you win your client's case. About seniors' intimidation, that is obvious, but it is all about perception. They got there before you. It is a matter of time before you also become a senior counsel. So how do you do it? When you have a matter, you also need your client to have faith in you. You want your client to pay your fee. So you have to have so much self-belief, prepare adequately, and go and wow even that senior until they give you a very good handshake. Yes.
Irene, when you watched Kathy Kilonzo, we didn't know Kathy Kilonzo way back then, and then like that lady, how does it look for you at this particular point that you are meeting the senior counsel, as they said, and here you are, you have to represent? Do you ever feel intimidated? Do you feel like I should just close this file and say, Your Honor, I'm out?
Closing the file is not, it's not an option. It's not an option for us. I remember the first time I went to court after my admission, and I was going to the Court of Appeal. And basically, Court of Appeal, that area is not so many advocates go to the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court. So I was newly admitted, and my boss had this matter, my former boss, and he told me, you are going to handle this matter at the Court of Appeal. I had not even gone to the High Court. So I started from the Court of Appeal. And I was very scared because I had never addressed a court before. I only watched him do it during PPLAs. And I was worried. And I spent a whole week with my file because I was trying to understand it, read it, because I had to read it so well that when the judges ask me a question, I'll not fumble it. And I remember my boss told me, Otto, this is your file. If you want to fumble it, it's fine. But this is where you start. Going forward, you will know how you'll be able, like this is your first experience in this court. How they will treat you going forward, how the other people, because the courtroom is full. Yeah. And how will the other people see you? It's their perception they take after that. It's all on you. So I really prepared. And when it was my time to address the court, even the judges agreed that I was a newbie. I was very new. But they were very gracious. And they asked me questions, and they realized I had really studied my file. Like, I knew it. For a whole week, I'd spent time on it. So I knew everything about it back and forth. So, and they were like, you really did a good job. Congratulations. Like, did you win the case? How did you find it? It went really well. Okay. And I think that's one of the things that you get like bonus points for if you win a case against a senior. It's not because you're very knowledgeable. It just shows that you're competent enough. Yeah. And you are now an advocate, and you can actually be able to take over matters and actually handle them. Yes.
How are you planning to change the entire legal fraternity? With now the experience that you're bringing on board as you take reign of office, how are you going to change the entire landscape? We've seen LSK having some back and forth with the government, having litigations here and there. Theory have done a good job. But with the support that you're bringing to the LSK, what are you going to do? Let me start with you, Wavinya, as a contributing factor to the legal fraternity.
As I mentioned earlier on, I will really want LSK to go back to being the noble profession it was. More often than not, do you see people on social media saying, wakili ni kizungu tu? I tell you for free, it is not just kizungu tu. We go through thorough training. We go through thorough preparation. We read. That's what we call learned friends. Yeah. You bring to me today an intellectual property matter. I will make sure I understand that. Tomorrow bring me an engineering board matter. I will make sure I'll understand that like an engineer. So it is not about kizungu nyingi. By the time my tenure is over with LSK, I will be happy and delighted if our nobility is restored.
Nobility restored. Gloria.
Yes. Personally, I think our divergence in council actually really helps. As you've heard, okay, I have maybe not mentioned, I'm the youngest. And we have also people who are advanced in the profession. So our divergence is very good that we bring each and every aspect of ourselves together to work for the lawyers. And especially young lawyers who have been, their admissions have been, is it rampant, or they have been many who have been admitted to the Law Society of Kenya for the past 2 years. So I think we need to focus on that and also expand our practice. Most of the time our practice is on litigation matters, and maybe that's succession, civil, and conveyancing. I think it's a new time that we bring new aspects of the law, that we expand the law, that we do have trainings for young advocates and expand our legal practice, because many people are coming in and the ugali ni ile ile. So I think we need to expand our plate for everyone now to fit in and to accommodate the new numbers that are coming.
Do you think the legal profession expanding in Kenya? Are we getting better?
Yes, I think I can see hope for a legal profession. I think with the support of the Law Society of Kenya in trainings, and we had very many ideas from actually people campaigning and expanding our legal profession. We had people bringing in climate change. We had the blue economy. So I think we are headed in the right direction.
Very good.
Yes.
Zulfa.
I'm looking to see LSK devolved, including issues like public interest litigation, because most of the public interest litigation from LSK that you see, it's at the national level. Yet sometimes counties are doing things that are contra statutes, that are unconstitutional, and LSK at the branch level, we've not really taken up the public interest litigation to also check counties. So I would like to say that we check counties more at the county level and at the branch levels in terms of how things they do that are unconstitutional and are against the law.
Yeah. All right. I need to fill your cups. It's breakfast here. I need to fill your cups. And on that note, you're taking a break. I still need to ask you the challenges that you faced during the campaigns, the intimidation, the messages, the threats. Where usipo step down, this is going to happen. We also face that. You can release that hard question. We'll take a look at that when we come back shortly. Stay with us. Today is Young Learned Friends. You get that? We'll be right back after this. Stay with us.
On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out.
Who is the man in this one?
And the laughter.
Hii wigi umevaa kichwani.
Sisi wakati tulikuwa tunaapishwa tunapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow.
We are the full package.
Oh, yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Omba Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kuwa atakuwa amepata hasara yule ambaye mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhani utamjia na ukamwacha ilhali kuwa yeye hajapata manufaa yoyote.
Tutakumbushana na kuzungumzia juu ya wale ambao hawatakuwa ni wenye kufaidika na mwezi wa Ramadhani.
Tumekipenzi changu
money, testimony.
What are demons?
Demons are ni maroho in a simpler language.
Yes. Mtu ameingiwa na mapepo. Yes. Pepo kwanza inaingianga aje kwa mtu?
The things that gives a loophole is when someone especially who is a Christian gets to sin, and someone who is not as a Christian maybe engages into an altar. An altar that then serves a certain purpose.
Watu wanaingia kila shimo, watu wanaingia kila mahali. Kuna jeshi nataka kuomoka at any expense. They don't care what will be done. They don't want to read the Bible, but they want results that are biblical.
All right, welcome back. So let's continue the discussion here. Today being a Wednesday, we are talking about young learned friends. The LSK election was held last week, and some of the ladies, not all of them, won in their different areas of representation, and we're having that discussion here as a form of inspiration to you. So let me start with you, Zulfa. Way back in Garissa, you're practicing there, but let's bring it back home. What are some of the challenges that you faced during your campaigns? Until now, you've made it.
In
black and white?
Of course, the biggest challenge was finances.
Right.
Because as 6 years in practice now, I do not have a war chest. I did not have a war chest to go for this position. And I had to see how do I access as many lawyers as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Kisumu. How many days can I spend in Kisumu? And what do lawyers expect of me? I guess we've been lucky. Personally, I have been lucky. The reception was largely warm, but of course there are those people who you met and they were very cynical, and they ask you for, they have unreasonable demands of you.
Yeah.
So you have to tell them, I am a young lawyer. Honestly, I really
accepting where I am. Right.
All I have to offer you is the promise that if elected, once elected, I will serve you diligently. I cannot give you anything as at now. Yes. So for me, that was one of the biggest challenges.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gloria, perhaps it's the same script.
Well, more or less the same script. You find that now moving from one place to another, I don't know even how the president does it, like national campaigning, that you have to move here, you have to speak to advocates in this place and make sure you get to all of them. Now moving from area to area, how are you going to move? Who are you going to work with in a new town that you don't know advocates there, and you have to reach out to them. So also getting accepted in a place or finding someone who will take you there. Secondly, my biggest challenge was everyone that would see me in their office, they're like, you're too small. How are you going to serve us? But one thing I used to tell them, I have served you in Nairobi branch. If you can check the clips from how we have been arresting masqueraders, you will see me on the forefront, holding the masqueraders not to run away, for us to bring them to book. So trying to convince your fellow colleagues, especially the senior lawyers who think you're too young, because I started leadership in the Law Society of Kenya when I was 2 years in the profession. Right now I just turned 4. So convincing them that you're there to serve them and there's no ulterior motive, and you're there for service and the work that you have done. So basically that is it. And at times you would get into offices, you're asked for lunch, and you just tell them, it's my promise and the work that I have done for the Law Society that will push me forward. Yes.
There's nothing for free, right? There's nothing for free.
Unfortunately, we discovered that the hard way. There's nothing for free.
Nothing for free.
Yes. So there was the issue of youngism, especially from seniors. They'll be like, but you're too young. What do you have to offer? So again, you go back to your track record. They're like, you did all of this? Really? I'm like, okay, now you have convinced me. There's the other counterpart of, Tom Zingabana. Hey. Kiongozi, you're like, hey, do you know that actually we were admitted the same day? And unfortunately, because it's politics, there was also some aspects of the campaigning from other quarters, especially us who are young. The seniors one will feel like they deserve this space more because they have the experience. They forget it is all of us combined that we can make LSK, because we all have beautiful ideas that can be embraced. So it is just a matter of perception on how you're going to give and adduce it to the members so that they see that you're actually better suited than the senior one. And balancing between work and the campaigns. Because you don't have an option. You've already put yourself out there. Your clients have to be represented. If you have a hearing, you have to seclude that day and say, I still have to do door-to-door, but I still have to attend matters. Thank God we have virtual courts nowadays.
Yeah.
At least we're able to attend court wherever we are. But I also practice criminal law. On days that I had to go to court physically, because unfortunately most criminal laws do it physically, I was lucky enough that the courts indulged me. If it wasn't for that, my clients will have told me, we are running away from you. Remember, there's the same people through the money they're paying that is going to support your campaigns. And being a woman, and all of us here being female, it was also the issue of security. You know, you're going to a new town, you know your colleagues, but where you're going to sleep, you're not so sure about your security. So it's a matter of just trusting God and the heavens.
Yeah.
Yes, that you'll be safe. But all in all, we thank God that we are all safe. Thank God that the tyranny that we passed through, we're able to come out of it stronger.
You're hard enough.
Yes.
You're hard enough.
Yes.
Irene.
Yes.
What did you face? Your biggest challenge? Like, sasa hapa leo, you ilikuwa normal.
Other than ageism, obviously, ageism that I'm too young, and also the fact that I met people who, my seniors, who tell me, Otto, we have literally been here for 30 years. We've seen it all. What is this thing that you want to do for us now?
It's going to change my life.
Yes, that's going to, like, they've been in practice longer than I have been alive, you see. So, asking me what is it that I'm going to do that is going to change their life, and I had to really convince them that we need each other, and so that it doesn't come out rudely, in as much as they have not presented themselves for that position, and I have. At least I have the best interest of the profession at heart, and I'm going to represent all of us. And the other thing that really bothered me is bullying. People wake up in the morning and attack you for no reason, you see, simply because somebody does not like how you look. Somebody does not, will never even vote for you.
Now that is called propaganda.
Yes, yes, propaganda. And then now they turn it into something else, and they drag you for days for no reason at all. And I think that's very wrong, because we are all advocates. At the end of it, I've had people coming to me and telling me, it was just election. You shouldn't take it at heart. So you are bullying me. You're literally making my life a living hell simply because I've offered myself for a position. And then now you want me to forgive and just move on because it was just an election. It doesn't. I just actually want to caution that going forward, it's okay to criticize me for whatever. Maybe you criticize my manifesto, my agendas, but the personal attacks on me simply because I'm vying, it shows really, it really isn't an issue about me. It's an issue about the insecurities that a person has on themselves. And now, because they do not have another outlet to vent or to take them out, they take them out on a candidate who they do not even have an issue with in the first place.
Yeah.
So for me, the bullying issue was a very big deal. And I thought to myself, if I didn't have a strong support, I would have caved in because it was too much. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember when it's a cliche statement that when people do not talk about you, then you have nothing to offer. You're a nobody. So
absolutely.
that the stones they threw at you, that's exactly what you used to build your foundation. So they just did, free advertisement and campaign for you. Like, okay, Sasa, all right, who is this person? So the interest literally grew to this person. That, okay, that person, I'm saying that, then perhaps there's something that she has to offer, and that's why probably you are there. Take it the other way around.
Yeah.
Allow me to ask you this question, ladies, because now at the end of the day, you are all in the legal profession. But do you think Mwanjiku is getting well represented? When we're having these court orders being, how do you call it? Ignored, left, right, and center. Do you think Mwanjiku is going to get to a point and say that, okay, fine, I had my case in court, I'm satisfied? Zulfa.
The challenge we have is the executive. The president, the executive, they set the standard. If the president on a podium says we are going to ignore court orders, So the next thing is your neighbor is also going to ignore the court order that tells them not to demolish
Does
your
that
fence.
kill your spirit as a lawyer, as an advocate?
No, it does not kill our spirit. It makes us want to fight, because now we have to fight more. This is our profession, that we trust. You come to me because you need me to represent you in court, and court declares your rights and gives you protections.
Yes.
And these protections are respected and even enforceable in law. But once the president says it at a podium that I will not respect court orders, then that gives impetus to your neighbor to say the same thing. And it creates chaos in the community.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Gloria, that actually even comes back to the common mwananchi that, okay, I'll do whatever I can. I'll go to court. The court orders will come out and I will ignore, and life will continue. You'd imagine how chaotic this country would be if you continue to ignore court orders on a daily basis.
Yes, it will be very chaotic, and that's why we are saying we need to stand. We need to stand strong, and we need to be the courageous people to speak against such atrocities. And having that from the executive is really sad, that even it comes down to the common Wanjiko, who will not even see courts, the judiciary system, as a place to take their grievances. So they're like, this justice cannot be served.
Yeah.
Because why would I go to court if something is wronged? If I am wronged, why would I go to court? And that is why we're saying that we need to stand strong and be very courageous. If the executive is not doing its functions well, if the executive is not obeying orders, then we need to stand strong. And I think this leadership that we've been given right now, led by now the president-elect, Faith Odhiambo, I think will be there, because we have seen her fighting for it, and I think we are going to fully support her in making sure that the court orders are obeyed, and if we continue fighting for that, at least Wanjiko will have hope one day. There are people who are fighting for them. One day we will have sanity.
And what is that textbook you're going to use to bring change and hope to Mwananchi, to Wanjiko?
Now we are going to use the Constitution. We will stand by the Constitution.
Yes.
We swore by the Constitution. We took an oath to defend it, and we are continually going to take an oath to defend that Constitution. Yes.
Yes, Wavinya.
When all of us were admitted to the bar, we all took an oath to uphold the rule of law. Section 4 of the LSK Act gives the mandates of the council. And above all, it's upholding the rule of law. We have the most beautiful constitution that there's ever been in Kenya, with Chapter 4 Bill of Rights. The Mwananchi has a right. We cannot allow anarchy to reign just because we're scared of these leaders. Mwananchi is supreme with the people. We are the ones who put them there. And as LSK, we are not relenting. As Gloria has mentioned, our president-elect, we've been doing mandamanos with her. I am one big human rights activist, and I've attended so many mandamanos with her. And we will not relent, be it in the courtroom, be it through activism, be it through mobilizing members to come, be it through negotiations. We will not sit pretty and let anarchy to reign, because we are a country that is ruled by laws, a country that has a constitution, a country that depicts where the government can go and where it cannot go. So it is not a time for us to be seen as a joke, as I've asked. Are we a joke? No, we are not. We need to follow the laws.
We need to follow the laws.
And the Mwananchi, we are urging Mwananchi to have faith in us as LSK Council, because we will keep on fighting until the day the government will realize enough is enough. Mwananchi needs to be respected, because it is Mwananchi who put them there. Article 2, Mwananchi is supreme. Our preamble, we the people of Kenya are supreme. So let us always remember that. Let that always ring in our heads. And I want to urge our Wanjiko out there, be abreast of your rights. Fear not. Our offices are at Gitanga Road. Fear not. Visit Gitanga Road. If you have any complaint, visit Gitanga Road. Let them know how best we can help them. Because unfortunately, most of us, we suffer the issue of ignorance. Something is happening. We are not talking about it, but we expect results. Please talk about it. Join the force. Let your voice be heard, because that is the only way we can do the change.
That's the only way we can do the change. I like that. Irene?
Yes. Personally, I believe that, you see, these roadside declarations do not mean anything, because if it's not there in our laws, then it's not there. A roadside declaration will not cure that. Yeah. So I believe that LSK has always been and continues to be firm. Even with the new leadership that we have, we are very hopeful. And of course, it's a new era for us. And people, we are excited, as is everybody else. People want to see which way we will go, whether we will, whether we'll triumph, and whether we'll be able to, of course, maintain being firm and bold the way we have been. And trust me when I say that it's going to be better. Because right now somebody said we are not living in normal times. And I believe them when they say so.
Yeah.
And I actually believe that, you see, from what Tess is saying, if you do not know something, then if somebody told you something else that's contrary to what you already do not know, you tend to believe it. And that's why I bring in the issue of you media. When a matter goes to court, the misreporting, let's start from there, is what usually lead to like maybe an uproar of some event. So sometimes maybe we feel like we need to read first before we report it, because some of these judgments are not the way they are reported. And that's where sometimes the problem starts with. Also, I also believe that we will not stop going to court simply because the executive does not obey. We will continue going. In fact, they will get tired. Eventually now, we'll have a situation where even you remember there was a time that there was some little of upheaval between the executive and the judiciary. Right. And you went to the Mwananchi. Yes, and you went to the Mwananchi and you were asking them what it, and they were very categorical. They were saying, let the executive leave the judiciary to perform its functions. I believe they understand, and they understand the separation of powers. And this is where we come in. If the executive becomes excessive, we do not care where it leads. We are still going back to court. We have a constitution that is supreme, and we intend on upholding it to our last breath. Yes, thank you.
All right. You talked about something. Let me just put on that. Yes. The separation of power is there in the constitution, but where do they come together? That even when they come together, they don't clash.
There is independence and interdependence. They work separately, but they are also able to link with each other in, especially when they are, so that we have a functioning government. Whereas we know that this is what the judiciary is supposed to do. This is what the executive is supposed to do. This is what the legislature is supposed to do. So that if, like right now, if the executive, for example, goes into excess, tries to interfere with what the judiciary is supposed to, they want the judiciary to rule in a certain way. That is interference. Let the judiciary perform its function. I saw some member, I don't know whether he's a CS or going somewhere and telling this woman, we will uproot this structure, it's on your land. How is he able to know whose land this is? If the matter is in court, why not leave the land court to decide whose land this is, so that whatever happens now, the court will give directions on what to go. But you as a CS going there and working with these people, those are roadside declarations that I was talking about. And if a common Mwananchi sees that, and they actually imagine that the CS is going to help them, but when you go, personally, if it's my land and then I go to court and they have to, the court says that it's my land, then I'll have to evict them from that property. How has that CS helped them? It's just PR, and it does not help them at all.
Yes. I'm sure we are running out of time, but let me ask you this question, ladies. The femicide that is happening across, it's a worrying trend. The government is out there, even us as media, we've campaigned against femicide, and we continue to talk about it. International Women's Day coming up on Friday. Let me start with you, all of you. What do you make of that? Who is failing? You and I, government, who? An individual responsibility?
There's collective failure as a society. Right. And then there's the individual responsibility of the particular men. When I think of femicide, I remember a story a number of years ago where a lady studying at the university, studying medicine, was hacked with a shocker, if I'm not wrong, by a boyfriend. Or was it?
This was somewhere in Eldoret.
Yes, somewhere in Eldoret. And what worried me were the comments from the men. And the comments were, yes, akikula pesa yako kata na shoka, you know. And it was all across, even from people that I had a lot of respect for. So the message is, how do you, as men and women, how do we interact in a society? That it is okay in certain circumstances to use extreme violence against a woman. And then when these incidents occur, the next thing you hear is blaming the victim. Why was she there? Why was she? Yet at the same time, we are supposed to interact with men in this society. Are you telling us to completely stay away from men? Because no one has on their face written potential murderer, right?
Nobody.
Yes. So this whole idea that part of the society has normalized violence against women and even acts of extreme violence in retaliation from jilted lovers and also from intimate relationships. That is a big problem. Then of course there's the individual problem of the people who now act on their worst impulses.
Yeah. Somebody said that we are lacking morals as a society, Gloria, and that is worrying.
It's actually very worrying, and I think this trend has not been here. It's not new. We remember, there are some southern parts of America that femicide was declared, like it was really big, that the government was not doing anything. And the actually Court of Human Rights declared that the government had actually failed. And I see that's where we are going as a country. The women are not being protected, measures are not being put, and now they resort to blaming the woman, which is not the case. Right now, I think we need to be very firm and condemn these acts very seriously and hold the people accountable. And I think we should now take harsh measures for even people who even dare to think of doing such acts. They will think twice about it and refrain from it. But I think I have not seen the seriousness from the state and the measures that they are taking, they are actually putting to stop femicide. I think we are headed in the wrong trajectory on that issue. And I think we should not keep, we should not be silent about it. I think let's keep fighting until this is done. Because the day we keep quiet is the day also the government keeps quiet. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Just.
Thank you. Back then, women were not empowered enough to do things, to even take up leadership positions. And as a society, we took up a collective responsibility to ensure that. What has happened to the boy child? Why are we shifting the blame to the victim, who's the female who's been killed? As Zulfa has mentioned, as a society, what measures have we taken? As a state, what measures have we taken? What policies? Nothing. We have failed as a society on issue femicide. We have failed as a society because collectively we have not sat down and said, this has been happening. It should actually be declared like one of the biggest disasters currently, because it is a disaster. We cannot be singing the same song, going on the streets, and we're not taking measures. When I participated in that walk, and that's where we actually heckled our current women Passaris, Honorable Passaris. She's been with us, we've done walks with her. But what measures has she put there as a parliamentarian? She represents us women specifically. Has she fronted a bill? Has she fronted a policy? Nothing. Have the men take up the responsibility of ensuring that they're going to educate the boy child on this is also a human being. Respect them. A no is a no. You don't have to force issues. The lady who was killed in Eldoret, when men were celebrating saying, alikula pesa yake, she deserved it. Who said because someone has given you money, they have to give in? Who said it is a transaction and it has to end in death? So as a society, we need to take up the mantle. We need to act now. We need to put up measures, be it from empowering both the victims and the perpetrators, be it from punitive measures on the perpetrators, and above all, having good psychiatric centers for the victims. Because most of them actually don't come out, especially who are abused and assaulted and it did not reach to death. They don't come out. We always condemn them. But what measures have we taken?
What measures have we taken? And I feel like, as a man, I feel like I'm attacked directly on behalf of men. I feel attacked. Irene,
yes, personally.
The latest one is being a 19-year-old lady who, I think over the weekend, from 10th floor.
Exactly.
I can't imagine. I mean, Go ahead.
Yeah, personally, I feel like we have failed the girl. We have failed the girl child, and in a number of ways, and this is just one of them. And the fact that somebody would feel entitled to my life is something that we need to address, because if you invite me on a date, how is it that if I refuse to go home with you now, you want to butcher me? Because I ate some food in a restaurant that I could actually afford on my own. So it's the thing that I want to say men are entitled. They feel like they own you, they own me. You know, I do not have a life of my own, so that they can do whatever they want with me. And people just say, oh, what was she doing there? What was she doing in that house? When this girl walked into that apartment, did she imagine that she was going to die? Would you walk into your own death? I do not think so. So then I feel like we have failed, and more needs to be done, and we need to talk more about it. You know, we need to have these discussions more and more, so that even our brothers, because it's for our brothers, our cousins, our uncles, they are our sons. They know that this is wrong, but they still do it because they know they can get away with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Friday, International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Kongole kwenu, congratulations for winning. What does this remind you? 1 minute. As you thank your voters, your people. You had a long time. This is your camera in 20 seconds, kindly.
Well, as International Women's Day approaches, because we celebrate women in leadership.
Yes.
That our voices are also the voices of diversity. We hope to enrich leadership everywhere that we go.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes, Gloria.
Yes, I believe. Actually, congratulations to every woman who's alive and living.
Camera here.
Yes, living this experience. So mine is just to encourage you to continue with the great work, and just to keep fighting for another day and for a beautiful future tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Advocate. Mtetezi ya wanyonge. Okay, go ahead. That's your camera.
Happy International Women's Day to all the women out there in your various capacities. I want to congratulate you for all that you're doing, be it in leadership, being housewives, being in corporate. And I want to encourage the young girls who are below us that it is possible. Whatever you believe in, it is achievable. Just find the right circle and you'll achieve it.
Just find the right circle and achieve it. Irene. You said you're the youngest. Gloria says she's the youngest, you're also the youngest, so I'm confused.
She's the youngest.
She's the youngest.
I'm second young.
Okay, your last word, kindly.
For me, I'd say that I will never forget that because of somebody else, I'm here today.
Yes.
A woman somewhere decided that they needed to be in the boardroom. They needed to be included in the table. And because they took the first step, and for that, just for them imagining that they could be there and taking the initiative, we are here today, and we are able to have the equal rights with men, because initially women were lesser beings.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm eternally grateful. And this is the sign for...
I got it this time.
Yes,
people usually make it this way. I don't know how, but
this is a sign for inclusion.
Power to the women. Thank you so much, ladies, for coming, and congratulations for winning in your different areas of representation. Go there and serve your people with valor, right? Yes. Absolutely. Okay, we love you people. Thank you so much. And for men, I've taken the beating on your behalf. I mean, really, what did we cast on the men's conference? I don't have to do this. Zulfa Roble, thank you so much for coming. She's upcountry representative. I have Gloria Kimani, Nairobi representative-elect, all right? And I have Teresia Wavinya, who is also general member, LSK, and Irene Otto Akoth, who is also the Nairobi representative-elect. Thank you so much for coming to the show. That was our day today. We are taking a break, but when we come back, we are still continuing. Vivian is coming back with another lady. Women at the forefront. Today is about women. Hey, we are good people. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
KBC Channel 1 imeandaa vipindi spesheli katika mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhan mwaka huu kwa ajili yako. Allahu Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Kando na ukumbi wa Kiislamu na hutuba ya Ijumaa, kutakuwa na makala yanayoangazia maswala ya funga, mawaidha.
Whosoever witnesses the month of Ramadan, then he should fast.
Vipindi vya mapishi.
Katika mapishi ya Ramadhani tutatayarisha pilau ya korosho. Utahitaji viazi, vitunguu vinne vikubwa na zabibu
na kaswida mbalimbali. Pia tumekuandalia kalenda ya Ramadhan ili kukuweka kwenye mstari wa mbele katika funga yako. Tazama runinga ya KBC Channel 1 katika mwezi huu mtukufu wa Ramadhan ili kukuza na kuhifadhi imani yako.
Wiki hii kwenye mkulima tunajiunga na mkulima bomba ambaye amejitosa katika kilimo biashara. Anaangazia ufugaji wa mifugo mbalimbali na ukuzi wa mimea kadha wa kadha.
Ile kitu mimi naweza advise wakulima ni kuwa waonyeshe watoto wao waache kwenda kutafuta kazi, bali waonyeshe kurudi kwa mashamba wapate kazi hapa na pesa. Juu pesa mingi iko kwa ukulima. Kwa hapa kwa ukulima hakuna pesa huwezi pata. Unaweza jihesabia kila mwezi hapa unaweza pata 500 to 1 million every month ukijipaga vizuri.
Usikose kujiunga nasi Jumamosi saa 10:30 hapa KBC Channel 1 kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo. Wiki hii kwenye mkulima tunajiunga na mkulima bomba ambaye amejitosa katika kilimo biashara. Anaangazia ufugaji wa mifugo mbalimbali na ukuzi wa mimea kadha wa kadha.
Ile kitu mimi naweza advise wakulima ni kuwa waonyeshe watoto wao waache kwenda kutafuta kazi, bali waonyeshe kurudi kwa mashamba wapate kazi hapa na pesa. Juu pesa mingi iko kwa ukulima. Kwa hapa kwa ukulima hakuna pesa huwezi pata. Unaweza jihesabia kila mwezi hapa unaweza pata 500 to 1 million every month ukijipaga vizuri.
Usikose kujiunga nasi Jumamosi saa 10:30 hapa KBC Channel 1 kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo.
Watakupa kitu gani? Wamejiandaa namna gani? Tukae kitako, tujifunze. Tukae kitako, tuelimike.
Mtazamaji, uko tayari?
Jitihada wanazoweka hakuna kupingana nami. Hijabu pambo la mke duniani na peponi.
Ni kweli matumizi ya mitandao yameathiri maadili katika jamii.
Mitandao imewafanya vijana wetu kuwa kama watumwa wa hiyo mitandao. Wanafunzi wakienda likizo, walimu wapatia kazi ya ziada kupitia mtandao ya kijamii kama vile WhatsApp.
Thank you for staying with us right here on Good Morning Kenya. And right now we have gotten into another segment, and this is Women at the Forefront. And our woman at the forefront today is Mercy Ndhiga. Mercy Ndhiga is a life coach and a business mentor, and she is also a member of the Kenya Peasants League. Mercy, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm humbled. I'm great.
Yeah. Where did it all start for Mercy to be where you are right now? Where did it all begin?
It's quite a long story, but it started while I was still very young. I loved farming. I grew up in a very wanting society. And that encouraged me to be a bit ambitious in knowing many things to get out of the poverty line. So yeah, that's where it started. Yes.
Yeah. And just how has it been so far, you know, being a farmer in Kenya?
So far, so good. Because being a farmer in Kenya, a farmer is, let's say, a farmer is everything in the whole world, not only in Kenya.
Yeah.
Because we cannot live without farmers. Everyone needs a farmer in every day and every time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the role of women in agriculture?
In agriculture, women are custodians of sins. So as women are the ones who knows about the farming much more better than anyone else, because we are the ones that carry almost every burden of our children. That one I may say. And as a woman, we should be on the forefront in farming. Yes.
And you know, farming for the younger people, you know, they don't really look at it as business because they find it maybe, you know, it's a dirty job, you know, it's not, we want the white collar jobs and all. So maybe how would you encourage young people to get into farming?
If we talk about young people not wanting the dirty job, the dirty job actually is the job that is paying, especially in this economy of Kenya, like especially now when the economy is going low and there are no jobs actually, and we cannot all fit in that category. So I would advise the young people to go into the farming, not only in business, in agribusiness, but also you as a youth or you as a young person, you need to eat healthy. You need to eat food that you know the source. Yes. So I would encourage every youth to make sure that you do a farming, you practice it, and practice make perfect. Yes.
Speaking of eating healthy and all, you're also a big advocate on organic farming.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Oh, yes. In organic farming, we as KPL, and that is Kenya Peasant League, we advocate so much on organic farming. Organic farming is the backbone of our lives today, because many farmers go buy food from the market where these fruit are grown with chemicals, which are very dangerous in our bodies. We as Kenya peasant farmers, we advocate for organic, pure organic farming, where our foods are not, we are not using chemicals. We use natural things like compost manure, using hash and pili-pili for our chemicals. So it is good and healthy, because most of the chronic diseases that are in this old world are the cause of using chemicals in our bodies. So by doing organic farming or eating healthy using the organic farming, it is helping so much. So that's why you find that our forefathers, they were not having all these problems. They were dying at their old age, unlike today, where death has become a day-to-day talk. And basically it's because of what we are eating and what we are putting in our bodies. Yes.
So you feel that most of the illnesses and diseases that people are having right now is because of not eating proper?
Yeah, it is because of not eating proper. Because when we look at it, when even at the supermarket, let's say in abroad, where people maybe understand more about the organic farming and genetically modified food, you find that the organic food, it's more even expensive than the genetically modified food. Why? They know that cheap is expensive. This food is grown cheaply, and the outcome is also very dangerous. Unlike the organic farming, where the food is grown properly using the organic seed, the indigenous seeds, and also you find that it is good. Even when it is even good, it is tasty. It has different taste with the compared to genetically modified food. Yes.
I want you to tell me more about the Kenya Peasants League. Like who is part of this movement, and what is the movement all about?
A Kenya Peasant League is it's a movement whereby we advocate and mobilize more farmers to do organic farming, and also to do organic farming and encourage food sovereignty, whereby you find during the hard times, people are able to borrow seeds and plant the seeds and generate the seeds from the indigenous seeds that were grown to various parts and on climate matters. So in Kenya Peasant League, we advocate for farming, and not only farming, but organic farming. Yeah.
All right. Now, with this new age of the internet and, you know, technology having advanced, maybe what role is it playing in farming and agriculture in general?
In general, it's helping so much, because when you go to the internet, if you want to learn about Kenya Peasant League, just go to the internet. You'll find us and know more about us. Unlike Kitambo, when the internet was not there. So if you want to know about everything, just go to the internet and know the roots and every basic thing that you want to know. It is very helping. Yeah.
Has it helped maybe in the forms of maybe the machinery that is being used in the farms? You know, in terms of when we talk about technology, like have the methods of farming maybe changed?
Yeah, it has changed very much, very much, because when we talk about the technologies in farming, as in KPL, we train our farmers how to do it using our own hands. Even if we are using machine, if it's a big land, even if we are using machine, if it's a big land, you find that the technology today, it's helping. That's what I can attest. It is very much helping. Yeah.
Okay. You're a mushrooms farmer.
Yeah.
You know, how did you get into, why did you decide to settle on mushrooms in specific? You know, why did you decide that I'm going to settle on mushrooms? And just how is it, you know, farming mushrooms, and is it a business that you would encourage other people to get into?
Yeah, I've done mushrooms since 2014, and why I got interested in farming mushroom, it is an idea that came into me that many farmers don't know about it, and it is one of the organic food that it is very marketable. Also, it is the food that it is easy to cook and easy farming. Because mushroom farming, especially what I do an oyster mushroom farming, it takes only a month and it is ready to be consumed. Yes.
When you talk of oyster mushroom, what's the difference with the other mushrooms?
The oyster mushroom is different from the other mushroom.
You call it oyster or oyster?
Oyster.
Oyster, okay.
Yeah, it's a type of a mushroom. It is sweet. Another thing, it is sweet. It is helping so much. It is very nutritious, very yummy, And also it takes a short time to grow. And that's
Around what time?
1 month, it's ready. Yes.
Is it expensive?
Not expensive.
Because when I go to get my groceries and all, I find like that sometimes mushrooms are a bit expensive.
Yeah, they are a bit expensive because they are organically grown. That's the difference. Yes.
And is it marketable in Kenya, like, or do you export?
No, I've not done export yet because I've not been able even to supply in Kenya. I cannot supply enough because not many farmers are doing the farming, yeah? But also the market is there. We've introduced the local users and educate them on its benefit. You can go Google about the mushroom. You'll learn about its benefit in our bodies. Yes.
Maybe what other types of mushrooms are there? You've settled on the oyster one, maybe.
Okay, I've settled on the oyster, but there are so many types of mushroom. That is, we have baton mushroom, we have shiitake mushrooms, but I decided to take the oyster type. Yes.
Is it something that you would encourage other people who are looking into getting into farming to pick, you know, mushroom growing as a business?
Yeah. That is something that I would advise every Kenyan to grow. Even if you're not growing it for commercial, it is very good for your health. Yeah, sure.
Now, this is a general question. How do you go about approaching, you know, problem solving and decision making, being that you are someone who is, we'll get into this because I know you work with a lot of women, you work with the youth as well, and you empower them in different ways. So how do you go about decision making and problem solving?
I go about it and first you must identify the problem and to know how to solve it when you identify it. On our current situation right now in Kenya, you find that women and young girls are getting killed so fast. Also, men and youths are getting into depressions. So when you get to identify the problem, it is easy to solve it. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. All right. Maybe what is the biggest strength that you possess that you would say is helping you maneuver in your day-to-day and in your business as well?
Yeah, I like empowering women and youth, and it is helping because in our societies, young girls and boys are getting engaged into meanderitis. So when we make them busy, they find their time so engaged that they don't get time for such. But I encourage them to do something resourceful in their life. So in my case, where I come from Utawala. Utawala is in Machakos County. We have encouraged many youths and women to do something in their life. And every day they generate money. So they don't even find that time for idling, which is helping. We have helped quite a number of them, and they are doing well. Yeah.
Why did you specifically choose to work with the youth and women? Maybe is there a reason behind it?
Yes, there is a reason about it because I'm a mother of youth, and I find that when I trained my boys to do what I do, they are doing their own things at their young age. So also when I was growing up, I didn't get someone to mentor me in doing maybe business or how to live a good life. So I saw it important to do it as a part of giving back to my society. Yeah, to encourage them and also to talk to them and also to show them on how to gain cash. Yes.
What's the importance of mentorship to a person?
Many people don't have ideas on what to do what. We have time, yes, but no ideas. So when you mentor that person, he will get helped also, not even him or her himself, but also the generation that come. You don't benefit one person mentally. Sure. Yes.
And for someone who's maybe looking to get mentorship or to find a mentor, how do they go about that? You know, maybe how do you identify who to have as your mentor?
We've made many referrals from those that we've done before. Also, you can look at a person and you identify this person needs some help. So that's how we get them. Because you can go to these students and find people, men or youths engaging in drinkings, taking the drugs. When you talk to them, you see the desperation part of their life, and when you mentor them, they get to streamline, and maybe you help them through that way. Sure.
You said you do this in Utawala.
Yes.
So you only do it around Utawala?
Yeah, I've done it in Utawala, and also I've gotten referrals. I've gone to many counties, around 5. I've done in Migori, I've done in Kapsapet, I've done in Embu, Meru, and also Bungoma. Yeah.
So when you go to these places, are you going to schools? Are you going to churches? Where do you go to do this mentorship?
Oh, basically, I've gone to women groups, institutions, and also in schools. Yeah, it depends on where I'm invited. Yeah.
Have you seen the results from it? Maybe are there any success stories that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I have many success stories because there is one group in Kakamega, that is a widow group. We are widows. And when I went to train them about, I do soap making. When I went there and introduced the soap making to the group, we are doing very well. They do it as a group. It is helping them in their homes, because every home needs a soap. It is helping them in their homes, and also it is also helping them to get cash. Yes. And also to keep them busy and going and see life in another perspective. Yeah.
All right. Now I want us to get into the soap making business.
Yes.
You know, how did you get into it? You know, from farming, and then now all of a sudden again you're into soap making. Just how did you get into that?
Yeah, I got into soap making because it is part of a side hustle. So when I learned about it, I got so much interested, and I saw that it was something that I should do. Because when you look at it, not even looking on a business side, every homestead, name them, even the homes that you think that they don't have enough food, they must have a soap for their cleaning every day. So being a side hustle, I saw it was also very wanting for me to do it. Yes.
So how do you go about it? Because I saw that you don't use any sort of machines.
Yeah, this soap, as you see them here, we don't use any machine. We do it manually with materials that are very available. When looking at this, it's made of aloe vera and pure oil, cooking oil. Just that. And a few things that are locally available, like we do carrot soap, we do coconut soap. Yeah.
Where do you do all this?
I do it in Utawala. Yes.
So you have like a whole place where it's just for making the soap? And
soap making does not even need a bigger place to do it. I just do it on a small room. Yeah. We work as a team. We are women in Utawala that is working on it. I trained them, and we are doing it well. Yeah. It is.
Yeah. So your way of empowering the women, you know, or rather women, is by showing them a means of them, you know, getting to make their own money, you know. So maybe how many women are you working with right now?
In Utawala, we are working with around 25 women. And also in other counties, we have expanded. So I don't now have the actual number, but I know they are doing well. Yeah.
Is this something that you would encourage other people to get into?
Yeah, because does not need a lot of capital to start soap making, yeah? And also the process to go about it, to get about the caps, and all the other requirement in the government requirements, it is not even expensive. People fear doing business, but our government is very open to such empowerment. Yeah.
Okay. We'll take a break right now, and then we'll be back in a moment.
Sasa nyoka ina kucha, nyoka ina mabawa. Nimesema hivyo. Wewe usiwacha kucheza na mimi, unasikia? Uliza maswali, ati amekuroga.
我跟军管会已经了解情况了。虽然说程丽华力主重判，但是以你的情况，应该是10年左右，地方你都可以进去。
我就在这等着。计算机处理错误，计算机处理错误。检修人员师傅座位查看电路，考核一遍。
红号单元故障，3号磁控电子管收回，有一单元投入正常，排查。多点。
I use swimming match for competition purposes. I use for therapy purposes.
Prosthetic legs represent more than just a physical instrument. They symbolize the restoration of independence.
Nimejitolea kusaidia wengine. Niko na hiyo roho ya utu, kusaidia msichana mlemavu mwenzangu. Pia mimi niko na hiyo ulemavu. Differently.
All right, and we are back. Thank you for staying with us. And now back to you, Mercy. Maybe how much capital does one need to start the soap business?
It depends on whether you want to do it in commercial, and also if you want to do it as a home based, you cannot use very little money. For commercial, you only need around 60,000 to start when you're having everything to start the business. Yeah.
You need 60,000. You said you'll need like what you use. You mentioned there's oil.
There is oil.
Yeah.
There is this other raw materials.
By oil is which oil?
Any cooking oil.
Cooking oil.
Cooking oil. Pure cooking oil. That's what I use personally. There are so many other oils that you use, but I use the cooking oil. And also the moldings that are needed, those for preparations, because when you see it's molded, yeah?
Yeah.
So we need the moldings.
For giving it the shape.
The shaping, yeah. Those things, when totaling to, it comes to around that figure.
So there's oil, there's the molding things, let me call them things.
There is molding things, there is a space, there is the raw materials, yes.
All right, I can see different flavors here. There's this one that is coconut, there's aloe vera. So how do you decide on what flavor to make?
I decide on what flavor to use depending on demand of the customers. Because like aloe vera, it's very demanding. People believe in it, so I make a lot of green soaps. Yeah.
So when you, for example, that aloe vera soap, do you actually use like actual raw aloe vera, or it's just the flavor?
Not just the flavor. I use the low aloe vera, that plant. Yeah.
So you use the actual plant?
Yes, I use the actual plant.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe what skills does one need in order to start this business?
Yeah, you need some trainings, because you can't just go to business without some trainings. You can reach me, I can do trainings. It's just a one-day training or two for you to get into this knowledge. Yeah.
1 or 2 days is enough?
1 or 2 days is enough, yes.
Yeah. And maybe, are you open to teach, as you've said, you're open to teach anyone and everyone who's interested, or how to go about that?
Yeah, I'm open to teach everyone who's interested. Yeah. So they can reach me through my numbers, through my social media platforms. Yeah.
Okay, you can give your social media?
Masintega at Gmail. Also at a Facebook account, I'm Masinoni. On Instagram, I'm Masi Mudhoni Vega. Yeah, also I can give out my number.
Okay. I think when they follow you on Facebook, you can just share your number
I can
over
share
there.
my number.
Yeah. Do you make them on order, or is it in bulk, or you make them in bits, like when you get them on order?
Yeah, we make them in order by orders. I started by saying we work as a team, a women group, so we get orders that when we make the soaps. Yeah.
Okay. Now, on Friday we get to celebrate International Women's Day. Maybe what are you proud of being a woman by yourself? What would you say you pride yourself in being a woman?
I'm so proud of being a woman, because as a woman, I'm the backbone of my family, and I've helped so much in that family. And I also want to congratulate every woman out there on that special day, and to encourage them to be the woman, to know our rights. Especially that's what we advocate for as KPL Women Collective. We advocate for women knowing their land right and their rights. So it is our role as women to know our rights on that day, and what to do as a woman. A woman that is very hardworking. A woman that will know that it is a woman responsible as responsibility to be a custodian of seed. Yes.
The theme that they are running with, this, not they, we, I am a woman. So the theme that International Women's Day is running with is invest in women and accelerate progress. Maybe what is the importance of investing in a woman?
There's so many importance in investing in a woman, because in a woman you can never go wrong. You can never go wrong in a woman, because we know how to save. We know how to use our opportunities right. Yes.
When you, they normally say that when you invest in a woman, it's like you've invested in an entire community.
Sure.
Do you believe in that? And how true is that?
It is very true. When you invest in a woman, you invest in a whole community. Because right now, you see, when us women are empowered, we are able to reach to many people because we are talkative, yes. So it is very easy to reach to the community and the whole nation. Looking at it when, like in our government, the women in the leadership are on the forefront every time. And there is nothing that goes wrong when a woman is there. Yeah, that's what I believe. I believe in a woman so much. Sure.
Sometimes there's this phrase that is normally used, and I don't like it actually. They say that women are their worst enemies. You know, I would love for us to just demystify it and go against it. So when you hear that, how do you turn that statement around? When they say that women, oh, you women are your worst enemies.
Women, it's just a saying of our perspective, but I don't believe in it. Women, we are not our own enemies because women, we are able to hold hands and do something that is visible. Yeah, we are not our own enemies. In fact, women, we empower other women to grow together. Yeah.
And that is true because that is what you're doing, you know, in even the soap making business. You're teaching women out there to just know how to do their thing so that they get to make their own money. So we are really trying to demystify that statement.
We are really trying.
You know, when they say that women are their worst enemies, no.
No.
Look at the women you're interacting with. Those are the ones maybe you know about. But generally, women do come through for each other. Women do stand up for each other.
Yeah, women do stand up for each other. We are very supportive to our own. Yes.
All right, maybe your parting shot as we finish. Your last words.
My last one is to encourage a woman out there, to encourage a youth out there, and also to men. I would also want to encourage men. Just do something in that line on men and boy child because they need us as women also. They need us as women. Men talk. Let men talk about their men issues. Let men talk. Let women talk together, and we will make a good nation. Yeah, sure. So I would wind up in saying congratulations to women on our International Women's Day. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Masindiga, for joining us on this conversation, and continue empowering the women out there and the youth. You're doing a good job in empowering.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Sorry for that. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who has been tuned in on the show. We really appreciate that you always choose Good Morning Kenya to start off your morning. This is the best place to do it. This is the best place for you to just kickstart your day, and we appreciate, on behalf of the entire team, from Mike Megwe, Ray Manyara, and Victor Olo, and the entire crew, from our camera people to my director, producers, the people who are handling sound. We want to wish you a lovely day, and do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Goodbye.
Since the invention of internet decades ago, the digital space has increasingly evolved. With this, teaching children basic computer skills has become important.
We live in a highly competitive world that is on the cusp of a digital revolution. This new world demands that our children are armed with the right skills that empower them to competently navigate the rapidly changing work environment. And to prepare them for the global stage, we have to introduce our children to the right digital tools at a very early age.
Kenya has placed considerable emphasis on the importance of ICT in its education sector support program. The Ministry of Education has taken steps to support the implementation of the strategy, either by direct action or through the various institutions and agencies with which it works. In addition, there are many other organizations not involved directly with the Ministry of Education that continue to be active in implementing and supporting projects involving ICT in education. There has been substantial evidence around the world that technology has become one of the most important and vital components to the success of a child's education. Although Kenya is known as the Silicon Savannah, this status needs continued pacing with technological innovation and stronger digital foundations. Scaling digital skills at primary, secondary, and tertiary education levels is a huge part of widening tech adoption and growing a lucrative digital economy. It can also help narrow the rural and urban development divide that limits collective advancement. In line with its bottom-up economic transformation agenda that emphasizes on the digital economy, the government launched the Coding and Computer Programming Curriculum for public schools through the syllabus approved by the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, KICD, and created in partnership with Codris Africa, an education technologies firm under the National Digital Master Plan. This will contribute to improving digital literacy among the youth and equip them with the necessary skills to compete in the digital economy. However, implementing digital literacy education in areas such as informal settlements presents substantial challenges. Kibera is an informal settlement. Rampant poverty in the Kibera slum is the source of numerous grievances and foundational inadequacies. Factors such as gender discrimination, crime, widespread unemployment, and inaccessible electricity feed the continuation of poor conditions in the slum. This does not allow them to acquire computer literacy despite their average level of formal education, as there is no money to pay for their training costs. This makes it difficult for them to be competitive in the labor market.
One organization in the informal settlements of Kibera has taken an initiative of teaching kids basic coding skills.
One, Renis Owino, has taken the initiative to eradicate digital illiteracy by teaching children in Kibera slums basic coding and computer-based skills.
Back in 2010, I lost my mom, and my dad, after the battle, my dad felt like since I was close to my mom, I needed a mother figure in my life, and he had suggestions of me coming to stay with my aunt for a while so that I don't, to try and fill in the gap. So back home, I was allowed to go to the cyber. All the cybers were like friendly. You could just go to the cyber and use it. But when I came to Kibera, it was different. The cybers were male-dominated. And, you know, as a young girl going to a cyber which is full of men, it gave a different narrative to the community. So it wasn't me going to the cybers, I was being judged, and I wasn't even feeling comfortable in the cybers. So I sat down and thought, what if I created a place where girls could just come and browse and use the internet without being judged with the community or feeling threatened? Yeah, so I went back to school and the dream did not end. So after I completed my high school, I joined Nairobi Aviation College. My dad requested me to go and do just a simple course. Since I had done computer in high school, so my dad told me, as I was waiting for him to get more funds for me to join uni, it will be a great idea for me to do computer course at Nairobi Aviation. So I went and I did not enroll into a certificate program. I enrolled into a diploma. I did a diploma in ICT, and I focused, my main course was programming. That was something I focused on. Later on, during my college years, during my college period, I had female lecturers who were programmers, and this really made me feel nice about it. And now I started going back to my initial dream, creating a space where girls could just use computers.
Code with Kids started as Code with Girls. But for Renise, she saw the importance of including boys also into the program to bring equality.
I started Code with Girls. Initially, it was Code with Girls, where I felt like since I was in college, we had still less number of females doing ICT. And I was like, if I start this Code with Girls and start teaching girls at a young age, by the time they're joining uni, they'll be comfortable in taking up such courses. When I started this again, I found so many challenges with Code with Girls because the girls that I was targeting, the girls that I was teaching, sometimes they couldn't come for the sessions because I was doing it at Katokera in my aunt's place. They couldn't come for the session because either one, they were doing dishes, they were doing laundry, they were taking care of their siblings, and this became a challenge. And then I saw the problem I'm trying to solve is to bring more girls into ICT and to make everybody know that tech is not only for boys and men. Then I realized if I am to solve this problem, then I have to include both boys and girls in the same sessions.
For Renise, teaching these kids how to do basic coding skills is preparing them for the future even as we head towards a technological world. Being an informal settlement where illiteracy might be high, some parents may not really understand what this program entails. With the recent form of education, competency-based curriculum, CBC, schools are now required to at least teach children basic computer skills. Code with Kids has partnered with some schools in Kibera to enhance this.
Currently, we offer after-school programs to different schools in Kibera. We have Soweto Junior Academy, where we train their young learners. So for Soweto, we work with kids from PP1, that is their PP1 until grade 4. We have Blessed Hope, where we focus on grade 5 and grade 6. We have Kibera High School, where we train the high schoolers. We have Raila High School, where we train the high schoolers as well. Apart from that, we work with an organization called Smart Kibera of Hope, where we train their beneficiaries in science, technology, engineering, and math. One of the laptops that we use here, this is called the Kano PC. These are really child-friendly computers. They are touchscreen. They come with detachable keyboard, and it's easy to set. So here, it's like the motherboard of the laptop. It comes with a power. So if you want to use it, you have to connect the power. It's simple and easy to assemble, so very child-friendly. This is the speaker. So you just connect it, and then it has a clear casing. So this has really helped us as Code with Kids when we are training the kids how computer works. We show them the different components that it consists of, and then it has this clear casing that also allows the kids to just look at it through here. So it's very easy to assemble. So once you've assembled it, it can be used like this as a tablet. But for us, we always encourage the kids to attach it to the keyboard so that it's easier for them to use. So this is like, it's set like this. It's completely like set like this.
Code Day is a non-profit providing welcoming and diverse opportunities for underserved students to explore a future in tech and beyond. Code with Kids celebrated this day by inviting several students from Kibera to learn coding skills. This includes Scratch program, robotics, and Python.
Nilianza na Tinka yenye natufunza kwanza kucode. Kaenda Scratch. Sai robotics. Ni fun, yeah.
I've learned how to use the Scratch app whereby I can make stories and games by myself.
Blessed Hope Child Center is one of the beneficiary schools that Code with Kids offers after-school program to the students. John Owok, a teacher, explains the importance of this program to their students.
Coding has really been of help, one, to our institution because it has broken the monotony that we've had of learners constantly being in class and doing the same thing over and over again, but also getting out the best of the learners in terms of improving their social interaction, their group engagements. So we feel that with coding, one, it has brought some level of cohesion within the learners and them understanding each other by their abilities and supporting each other in the process, but also allowing them to appreciate each other.
Mama Patricia has seen much improvement in her daughter since she started learning how to code.
As advice wazazi waache watoto wao, especially kama maybe midterm holidays wakiwa kienda hiyo kucode ama code.
On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out. Who is the man in this one?
And the laughter.
Hii wigi umevaa kichwani.
Kile wakati tulikuwa tunaapishwa tukapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.